Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, I just put out my video about the Thurman Garcia fight, and people have been kind of butthurt about that because I thought Danny Garcia won. But hey, that whether you agree with my opinion or you disagree with my opinion, the reason you tune into True School Sports is because you guys know in your heart of hearts that I'm not like these other people on YouTube. I don't have a hand up my ass. Nobody's telling me what to say. I'm saying my authentic opinion. And with that being said, we're going to talk about another interesting thing that happened on March 4th, the great day of March 4th in boxing. Tony Bellew, obviously, we've touched on it already, scored a massive upset over David Haye. A great performance by him. I know people have their different opinions and perceptions on the fight. But the way I see it is this. You know, a lot of people, they rolled Tony Bellew off. They said he was a fat cruiserweight who was even fatter heavyweight. He had no chance. A lot of people before the fight, like this one idiot on Facebook, I think his name was Eddie. Dude was saying, Tony Bellew is going to get destroyed by David Haye because he doesn't have any abs and he's not in boxing shape. And I was like, well, when has Tony Bellew ever had abs? You know, he's a world champion, but he's never had abs. And he's like, and then he went on this whole tangent about how I don't know anything about boxing. And then I waited till after the fight. Tony Bellew beat David Haye, and I was like, hey, the guy with no abs just destroyed David Haye. And then I put hashtag abs don't win fights, skills win fights. So skills win fights, intelligence wins fights, and character along with those skills and intelligence wins fights. And Tony Bellew definitely has a lot of character and boxing intelligence to to get as far as he's gotten in his career, because he sure as hell didn't get there with just his talent. He's not the most talented fighter in the world. So with that being said, Tony Bellew, fresh off of his win against David Haye, he called out none other. Look, the guy's going for the gusto. That's why I love Tony Bellew, man. We don't have enough people in boxing that go for the gusto, that really try to challenge themselves to be great. And you can say it's a money grab, but look, nobody gave him a chance in the Haye fight. Everybody rolled him off in the Haye fight, and he went in there and he did a demolition job on David Haye. So now that he's done that, you know, he's going for the gusto, and he's calling out Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. So let's listen to what Tony Bellew and Eddie Hearn had to say about this fight and calling out Deontay Wilder. Have a listen.
You know what? The whole career I've been making fights coming out of the ring. Do you know what I want next? Deontay Wilder, Bronze Bomber. Listen to me, boy. Hey, yo, Wilder, you want to sit down with the big man who takes everything? Because I'm just thinking I maybe have one more night left. And I ain't got no nights left. Nah, brother, I ain't got no plans stepping to the big man.
Tony, let me ask you about the fight.
Everybody asks you about this. You got to fight. I don't want to fight, man. I got enough bad people in the world to fight. I look up to the brother, man.
I look up to you, brother. You're solid. That was a good scrap, you know.
Was it?
If you heard me on the
side
of the ring. When I was in
it just felt like I was thinking, how many more? Because he said he was going to tire, and he don't feel like he's tired.
Did it go to plan? Did it go because I said, you know what, you've got to be some kind of Spengali, because you said if it goes to the later rounds, that's the telling time. Has it got the heart?
What was I saying in the dressing room? I said, T, show me a fighter who's ever fought a day in his life hasn't been hit.
No, everyone's been hurt. Even the greatest have been hurt.
Did he hurt you? He hit me a couple of times.
But that's what I was shocked at. He was taking his best punches as well. And that's what I'm saying.
To be fair, I stayed low. Come and get in here. Listen. Get in, boy. Get in here, man.
Everyone's joining the party.
Hit me. What I've done well tonight is I don't really give myself much credit. I stayed low in the pocket. And every time he hit me on the forehead. Nothing was where I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So you were showing me neck, taking it deep before he hits with the right hand. But tonight I just
sucked it up.
Yeah, man.
Did it go to plan? Is that what you want? Exactly to plan.
Well, it didn't go exactly to plan because I took too many. So, Johnny, you get in the water, you get wet.
Yeah.
But it went, let's just say it went to plan enough. I got a bit wet, but
the W, mate.
Eddie, that's all that matters.
You missed earlier on this young man shouting out Deontay Wilder next. Something you're going to rank?
Listen, you beat David Haye, who is proclaimed to be one of the top heavyweights in the world. Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder, why not?
That's true.
You know, I mean, you've got one of the biggest fights in British boxing history, April 29th.
I'm going to be there to support.
I believe Britain can have two world heavyweight champions. I believe he can beat Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker. Why not? Why not? People wrote him off here. People wrote him off at Goodison Park. People have been writing him off his whole career.
The fat boy off,
they do. Tell me about it.
Tony, I've got to ask you.
Thank you, dear.
Did you set a wedding date at the end there?
Yes, we have.
All right, so there you have it. Tony Bellew and Eddie Hearn both make their plans and the desire to fight Deontay Wilder very clear. They want that fight. And look, much like this fight with David Haye, that's a fight that looks unwinnable for Tony Bellew. Even more so than David Haye, because unlike David Haye is a little bit of he's not a natural heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight who's fought a heavyweight. Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, is 4 inches taller than Tony Bellew. He'd have a 9-inch reach advantage. But we gotta look at it like this, right? We know Deontay Wilder has incredible one-punch knockout power, and you can never, regardless of what you think about his fundamentals, you can never, ever be comfortable in there with Deontay Wilder because of that one-punch factor that he does possess. But with that being said, Tony Bellew, his ring smarts that he showed in that David Haye fight, kind of like he alluded to there, he did get caught with them shots, but in fairness, they're touching him on the top of the head because he did a good job staying low. So, should the fight happen, the way I look at it is this: Deontay Wilder has been fighting so many bums. He fought Chris Areola. He fought, although I wanted to see the fight, the reality is Gerald Washington was nothing more than a top 15 heavyweight. I gave him credit for it. Fair play to him for winning, but he struggled with a guy in Gerald Washington who was a converted football player and a lot more slow-footed than Tony Bellew. So why not? I mean, why not? He's not going to fight Joshua next. And we don't know about the Joseph Parker situation. So my thing is this: if he's not going to fight Joseph Parker next, right, and he's not going to fight like a Jarrell Miller or one of those top kind of guys, in the division that people want to see him fight, why not fight Tony Bellew? I mean, he did beat David Haye. He's earned his way to that type of fight. They could have it in the UK. Maybe it's a big money grab for Wilder. Could be a good payday for him, or maybe he goes to Alabama. Regardless of the fact, I think Tony Bellew was in a Rocky film. He had a Rocky moment tonight. He had his moment at Goodison Park against Makabu. And who's to say that he can't have that Rocky moment against Wilder? I mean, obviously, I'd pick Wilder to beat him, but I mean, you have to be objective here. Wilder against a very slow-footed, not that skilled Gerald Washington. He did struggle. While Gerald Washington was a good opponent for the situation, I don't think Gerald Washington was necessarily the most skilled fighter in the world. So Wilder did struggle with a guy who stylistically was made for him, and it was a good win for him. But still, that's a fact. Gerald Washington's a good fighter, but a fighter who wasn't necessarily he didn't have that much experience. But when you talk about Tony Bellew, you talk about a guy who's fought monsters: Adonis Stevenson at lightweight, David Haye, Makabu. Cleverly, he's fought some really good fighters. He has a ton of great experience, and you can't ever take that for granted. And he's a smarter fighter than people give him credit for. I mean, you don't get as far as he's gone with his level of talent with just your talent. You have to have ring smarts, and he has ring smarts, which that's a fact. And I'm behind Bellew, man. I think after the Makabu fight, I really became a Bellew fan. But this fight right here, interviewing him, the Makabu fight, this fight right here. With everybody writing him off, I love Tony Bellew. I can honestly say, after meeting him, knowing what kind of person he is, seeing it for myself, seeing his fights, how exciting they are, I can honestly say that he's become one of my favorite personalities and fighters in boxing. And if he is to fight Deontay Wilder, I'm gonna be in his corner 100% because he's a great guy and he's a fighter with a tremendous amount of character. And Customato once said, a lot of times the fighter who isn't as talented as two fighters might get in the ring, and you might have a guy who's more talented at one end, but there's been many instances where the fighter with more character overcomes the guy with more talent. And I think that's been the case for Tony Bellew many times in his career. And who's to say it was the case against David Haye? Who's to say it could happen against Deontay Wilder? I mean, Deontay Wilder struggled with Gerald Washington. He has that one punch factor. He can land it on Tony Bellew, but Tony Bellew has a lot more experience than these guys he's been fighting. So I think it'd be interesting. It could be a really good payday for Wilder. And it'd be a good opportunity for Bellew to make even more history and cement himself as a legend, man. Because honestly, to do what he did against Haye the way he did it, I thought it was a special night, special night for him. And he's already made it clear that he's not going to fight Anthony Joshua if he wins the title anyway, because they're friends. So why not go for the gusto? You beat Deontay Wilder, you become the WBC heavyweight champion, you get a big payday, you go out on top like that. Why not, man? This is why we fight, right? To prove how good we are. And Tony Bellew, I gotta give him full credit. He's really just trying to, number one, make the best business decisions for himself. And while he's doing that, he's testing how good he really is. And you can't ever hate a guy like that. So that's my opinion on the fight, or my opinion on what he said. What do you guys think? Would you like to see Tony Bellew versus Deontay Wilder? My take is that if he fought Areola, Why not Bellew? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.